Hello, and thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Fraser Lewis, and I'm the co-founder of a Salesforce partner called Rephrase, based in London in the UK. We've been working in the Salesforce ecosystem since 2011, so we've been around for 10 years. We focus on creating low-code solutions using Salesforce and great products like the Nintex suite of tools that enable us to streamline and automate processes for our clients. Our sweet spot are projects where we can help replace repetitive manual processes with automation, and by doing so, reclaim wasted time that can be put to good use elsewhere in the organization. We're going to demonstrate how Salesforce, Nintex Forms, Drawloop, and Nintex Sign can be used to capture grant applications and process them through Salesforce, and as a result, deliver a range of benefits. Firstly, this solution cuts out an enormous amount of manual effort. Secondly, it gives you and your team access to live data through dashboards that help you make informed decisions without having to trawl through vast amounts of data in spreadsheets. Thirdly, the solution scales up as demand increases without any impact on performance or work stacking up. To set the scene, I'd like to introduce you to the key players who are going to meet during this demo. Geraldine is the CEO of a not-for-profit organisation called Always There. She is applying for a grant. Rita is the grant administrator in the grant-making organisation Apply 360. And Richard is an external assessor who Apply 360 use to review grant applications and submit feedback. In terms of the main process steps we're going to follow during this demo, they break down as follows. Number 1, Geraldine is going to submit a grant application. 2, Rita is going to allocate the application to Richard for him to review. 3, Rita is then going to review the application herself. 4, she's then going to generate a grant funding agreement for Geraldine to e-sign. And 5, Geraldine is going to e-sign the agreement. We will begin with Geraldine submitting her grant application. Hope you enjoy the demo. Geraldine is the CEO of a small charity focused on helping young people improve their interview skills and create fantastic CVs to increase their chances of getting their first job. She's heard about the grants that Apply 360 offer and has decided to make an application. The process begins when Geraldine completes an online application form. She fills in her details, her organisation's details, and details about the grant that she's applying for. She specifies the project focus, in this case employment skills and training, and the amount that she is requesting. When she says yes to the question, have you received a grant from us before, she puts in details and she then submits the grant application. The details are saved directly into Salesforce. Salesforce automatically sends Geraldine an email confirmation with a copy of her application attached. This is a PDF that has automatically been created using the Nintex Drawloop document generation product. Rita is the grant administrator for Apply 360. She reviews the applications and progresses them through the Apply 360 process. When Rita logs into Salesforce, the first screen she sees is the Grant Management dashboard. This shows key metrics at a glance. We'll come back to this later. Rita clicks the refresh button to update the dashboard with the latest information. She can see Geraldine's application in the table in the bottom left of the screen, and she clicks the link to drill down and to take a closer look. All the application information is available on a single page. The current status of the application is displayed at the top of the screen. The application details submitted by Geraldine are visible on the left-hand side of the screen in sections 1 and 2. The application will be reviewed by an external assessor, and his feedback will appear in section 3 once it's been submitted. If the grant application is successful, section 4 will also be completed. On the right-hand side of the screen a log of applicant interactions is visible. Any documents linked to the application are visible in the Related Items section. Rita reviews the grant application to establish if it is eligible to proceed further. If it isn't, she can mark it as ineligible and advise the applicant. In this case, Rita has established that the application is eligible to proceed further, and she now allocates an assessor by clicking the Allocate to Assessor button and filling in the details. The application status automatically changes to With Assessor. The system also sends 2 notification emails, one to Geraldine to let her know what's happening with her application, and a second email to the assessor Richard to let him know the application for him to review. Let's switch over to Richard and see how things work from his perspective. The email he receives contains a link to a grant assessment form plus a copy of Geraldine's application. In this example, the grant application document, again generated using Drawloop, only contains the information Richard needs to assess the application. Richard clicks the link in the email to open the grant assessment form, and this form has been created using Nintex Forms. He enters his comments and a score and submits his assessment. The information he has entered is added to Geraldine's grant application record in Salesforce. We now switch back to Rita and the grant application record in Salesforce. We can see that the application status has progressed to awaiting internal decision. Rita reviews Richard's feedback in section 3 to help her decide if this grant application is successful or not. To make it easy to record her own decision, she simply clicks the Record Internal Decision button that is now visible at the top right of the screen, fills in the details, and clicks Save. It's good news for Geraldine. Her application is successful. The grant application status is automatically changed to Successful. The next step in our process is obtaining approval before generating and sending the grant funding agreement to Geraldine for signature. We have simplified the approval process in this demo, and Rita is able to self-approve. Approval processes in Salesforce can be tailored to your requirements. You can also build approval processes using Nintex Workflow Cloud. Once the grant has been approved, the next step is to generate the grant funding agreement and send it to Geraldine for e-signature. Salesforce displays a button for this purpose to trigger the process. It's just a single click, and the document is created in a few seconds using Drawloop and then emailed to Geraldine for signature. We're using Nintex Sign to manage the e-signature process. Geraldine checks her email and sees that her signature is required on the grant funding agreement. She opens the email and clicks through to take a look. Relevant information has been merged into the document, and once she's reviewed everything and is happy, she e-signs the agreement in a couple of clicks. Back in Salesforce, the grant application status automatically changes to Agreement Signed. Digitalizing the process of generating and signing the grant funding agreement streamlines what is traditionally a very time-consuming and manual process, and really boosts productivity. Rita navigates back to the home page. Now that Geraldine's application has been finalized, the dashboard is showing out-of-date information. The gauge is showing £400,000 has been awarded instead of £450,000. Geraldine clicks the refresh button and the figures update in a few seconds. Other charts on the dashboard are also giving us useful information at a glance and helping us make informed decisions. For example, we can see that the number of grant applications in February and March dropped significantly and are now picking up again in April. Rita might want to investigate further to find out what caused the drop in application numbers. We can also see the majority of grant funding awarded relates to projects in the employment skills and training category, with a much lower amount in the young people category, and none at all for the other available categories. Again, Rita can look into this in more detail to establish what's going on. Perhaps the marketing team need to run campaigns to raise awareness about the types of grant Apply 360 awards. In this short video, we showed you how combining Nintex products and Salesforce can streamline a grant application process. And this is just a small example of how Nintex products working in conjunction with Salesforce can help your organization streamline processes, save time and boost productivity. The solution can be extended to handle use cases such as grant delivery and disbursements tracking, monitoring and outcomes measurement, satisfaction and feedback surveys, sophisticated analytics, and process orchestration and automation. We hope you found this demo useful. Our details are on the slide if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.